Tensions in Gaza remain high, but a new twist has emerged. Hamas has responded to the latest US-backed ceasefire proposal, surprising many with a new pledge regarding hostages. This pledge, however, is tied to major conditions. Hamas is demanding significant changes to the American plan, far more than minor tweaks. Their demands are central. They want a reshaped deal, not just a temporary pause in fighting. The new pledge on hostages could be a breakthrough, but only if their conditions are met. This has complicated negotiations, forcing mediators, Israel and the US to reconsider their strategies. The core issue: can Hamas's demands be reconciled with Israel's security concerns? The coming days will reveal if this is a step toward peace or another dead end. The situation is fluid, and every move now carries enormous weight. Both sides are under pressure to show flexibility, but trust is in short supply. The world is watching to see if this new development leads to real progress. For families of hostages, hope and anxiety are intertwined. For Gaza's civilians, the stakes are survival. The diplomatic landscape has shifted, but the outcome remains uncertain. Will this be the breakthrough everyone hopes for, or just another chapter in a long, painful conflict? The next round of talks will be crucial. All eyes are on the negotiators. President Biden's proposal lays out a three-phase roadmap to end the conflict. Phase 1, a 6-week ceasefire, Israeli withdrawal from populated areas, and the release of hostages, women, elderly, and wounded, in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Humanitarian aid would surge, bringing relief to Gaza's suffering population. If this holds, Phase 2 begins. A permanent end to hostilities, release of all remaining hostages, and full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. This is the most contentious point, as Hamas insists on total withdrawal. Phase 3 focuses on rebuilding Gaza, with international support for reconstruction. The plan is ambitious, but each phase depends on the success of the last. Deep mistrust makes every step uncertain. The world hopes this phased approach can finally break the cycle of violence, but the details and the willingness of both sides to compromise will determine its fate. The international community stands ready to help, but only if the parties commit. The stakes are enormous for everyone involved. Each phase is a test of trust and resolve. The first phase could start a new chapter, or collapse like so many before. The next moves will decide the future of Gaza and Israel. The world waits for a sign of real progress. Hamas's main concern with Biden's plan is permanence. They want ironclad guarantees that fighting won't resume after a brief pause. For Hamas, only a permanent ceasefire and full Israeli withdrawal from all of Gaza are acceptable. They insist these terms be explicit and internationally backed. Past ceasefires have collapsed, fueling their skepticism. Hamas demands every detail spelled out, with no room for ambiguity. They also want the blockade of Gaza addressed as part of a comprehensive solution. Mediators from Egypt and Qatar are relaying these firm positions. Hamas sees these as non-negotiable starting points, not bargaining chips. Their insistence is rooted in past disappointments and a desire for real sovereignty. The challenge: building enough trust and verification to make any deal stick. Israel, meanwhile, is wary of concessions that could threaten its security. The gap between the sides remains wide. International guarantees may be the only way forward. The negotiations are complex, with every word scrutinized. The world is watching to see if lasting guarantees can finally be secured. The ceasefire debate has life or death consequences. Hostages in Gaza and their families endure daily agony, pressuring Israel for a deal. Gaza's civilians face starvation, destroyed homes, and a collapsing health system. For them, a ceasefire means survival and a chance to rebuild. Hamas's demands for a permanent end to war and full Israeli withdrawal are seen by many Gazans as their only hope. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu faces political turmoil. Hostage families demand action, while right-wing partners threaten his government if he concedes too much. The risk of political collapse is real. The international community, led by the US, Egypt, and Qatar, is deeply invested in mediation. Failure could trigger a new, even more intense phase of conflict. Regional stability and the credibility of international diplomacy are on the line. If this US-backed deal fails, it raises doubts about resolving entrenched conflicts. The stakes are enormous for individuals, leaders, and nations. Every decision now could shape the region's future. The pressure is mounting on all sides to find common ground. The world is watching, hoping for a breakthrough. The cost of failure would be catastrophic. The next steps will determine countless lives. The urgency has never been greater. The outcome will echo far beyond Gaza and Israel. Diplomats from Egypt, Qatar, and the US are working non-stop to bridge the divide. They shuttle between parties, searching for compromise and creative solutions. Egypt and Qatar's ties to Hamas, and America's influence with Israel, are crucial. President Biden's personal investment adds urgency to the process. The mediators coordinate strategies, hoping to present a united front. The next days are critical. Both sides' initial responses have set the stage. Mediators are probing for flexibility and testing red lines. The biggest hurdle, finding language that guarantees a permanent end to war, while addressing Israel's security. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza adds urgency. Time is running out. Public statements and external events could derail progress at any moment. The mediators know windows of opportunity close quickly. They're racing to turn fragile engagement into a real agreement. The world is watching for a breakthrough. Every hour counts for those suffering on the ground. The stakes are higher than ever. The mediators' efforts may be the last best hope for peace. The outcome will shape the region's future. The next move could change everything. Is this a real chance for peace or just another false dawn? Hamas's engagement, even with tough demands, is a significant shift. The new hostage pledge offers hope, but obstacles remain daunting. The gap between Hamas's demands and Israel's security concerns is wide. Netanyahu faces political risks with every concession. Hamas must deliver real change for Gaza's people. Trust is nearly non-existent, making negotiations perilous. The U.S. role is pivotal. Can it bridge the divide and craft credible guarantees? The international community wants a ceasefire, but desire alone isn't enough. Compromise and political will are essential. This moment could be a turning point, or another disappointment. The stakes are immense. Millions of lives hang in the balance. We'll keep following these developments closely. The hope for peace, however fragile, endures. The world waits for the next move.